Welcome, Gery.
Starting with the red shirt. I'm good, right? Okay, everybody got that, so we got a good crowd. You know, Isaac Asimov described science fiction as that which people adjusting to science and technology, trying to become one with it. But how we adapt and react to that is what the stories are all about. Now, these guys had a little bit of trouble. I'm thinking something really bad's going to happen out of that, but, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But sometimes there are just things that are over-the-top ridiculous in sci-fi, wouldn't you say? This fine piece of cinematic drama was one of the Sci-Fi Channel's highest-rated programs, and basically endowed sharks with supernatural abilities, like breathing in a tornado and out of the water. But there are plenty of these silly concepts, and I'm going to do these mostly out of media science fiction rather than literary, because I believe most of you know who Captain Kirk is, but far fewer know who Harry Seldon might be. And if you don't know, there's the clue. Go look it up. You've got it all on your phones. Wait till I'm done. First, let's tackle concepts about good versus evil. That's what sci-fi is all about most of the time, and it's mostly around where did we come from, right? So it's kind of interesting. There are lots of stories that kind of disbelieve both creationism and evolution, but it's kind of interesting that they say we were populated by aliens, or the Earth was built by aliens. In the majority of hard sci-fi, though, those aliens are big, mean monsters who are bent on eating us, procreating with us, or taking over our planet for their own twisted uses. Well, sometimes, though, they just look like these guys. They're just having problems. But to me, there's something they can see really well. Something really ridiculous about creatures who have come to this planet. They've managed to figure out space travel and warp drive and all these other things, but they still haven't discovered pants. I never quite got that. I think aliens capable of space travel would have far better things to do than worry about a planet full of semi-evolved simians. I'm waiting to see who really knows what these are. Semi-evolved simians who are so warmongering, and they don't really understand what's going on in the world, but I think they would look more like that. You know? Now, science fiction... I can't even look at it again. Science fiction is not just about space, but one of the silliest concepts to me was that the idea we were going to go out into space to better ourselves, for knowledge. No, that's not what we're going to space for. Like the crew of the Enterprise here, that's what they were doing, you know? Captain Kirk, Captain Archer, all those guys are going out there. I think that's Archers, right? But instead, I think we're going to go for a different reason. Cash. Money. Right? We're going to need a lot of people, more companies like Virgin to throw millions of dollars at it so we can get out there. But until we do something like have one of those probes return back that they've found gold and platinum on Mars, then the race is on. We're going to have another gold rush. Instead, how about the way science always eliminates basic physics? Like gravity, for example. We can't escape it and we can't fake it, but every spaceship in sci-fi has gravity somehow. Unless you happen to be in a blockbuster CGI movie with Sandra Bullock in which they can make everything float but her hair. Speaking of hair, given the superficial nature of the way we discover things here on planet Earth, you would think by the 24th century someone would have come up with a cure for male pattern baldness. And the clothing of the future in sci-fi is also a little problematic, right? We're often shown men wearing, lots of leather and black vinyl and all that, or we're dressed like Hugh Hefner and we're walking around in pajamas all the time. And the women have perfect body types and wear virtually nothing. Thank you, Gene Roddenberry. Of course, body issues don't just affect the women in science fiction. The protagonists and antagonists sometimes have problems. In this case, our antagonists who have a disability always. They have some kind of disability. They may be having a mechanical arm or mechanical legs, or they got a breath mask, or, well, everything this guy has. He's like the epitome of all of it. This kind of thinking gets us closer to the concept of the cyborg, or maybe just that robots will play a bigger role in our lives. But I really have a hard time thinking we're going to turn a lot of stuff over to them. And I don't think they're going to follow Asimov's laws like we think, except the B9 here making hot dogs with Dr. Smith. I think they're probably okay. At the same time, I also don't think that the aliens or the technology is going to take us over. I think we're going to be okay with that. But wouldn't it be cool to have a cybernetic pet like Muffy here from Battlestar? Wouldn't that be great? Think of the vet bills you'd save, and no cleaning up after him, no kitty litter. You just call tech support and reboot your cat. Of course, time travel might give us an interesting viewpoint, too. Personally, I don't think time really exists outside of our own perception. But if we do manage to break the time barrier, I hope it's in something better than a 30-year-old DeLorean. Nothing like having a drug mule car to, it's kind of strange. The old people explain that to the young people. So what about our future? Where are we going? What are we going to do? I'm kind of a glass half full kind of a guy. I really don't think we're going to destroy ourselves. Most science fiction is very apocalyptic, don't you think? Sure, human history sees our civilizations come and go, but I think by the end, we always manage to survive somehow, right? We're still here, and I think that'll keep going. But if it turns out that science fiction writers are correct and we're all going to go in a big fiery ball, I hope there's a Frigidaire around so I can hide in it. Because clearly you can escape a nuclear bomb, just like Indiana Jones did, and you'll be okay. His hat never even got knocked off. How cool is that? Finally, the flying car. Who wants a flying car, right? Everybody wants a flying car. George had it perfect there, but I think flying cars are not one of those things that are going to make it into reality, at least on a regular basis. Can you imagine the tailgating leadfoot that followed you here tonight with a jetpack on his back? The drivers have enough trouble with two-dimensional driving. We're not going to give them a third. But in the end, science fiction is really all about humanity's strength and the ability to survive. Adjusting to our own technological advancement does not mean the end of our society. So whatever happens, don't panic, live long, prosper, and keep flying. Thank you, everybody. I'm Gery Deer. Have a great evening.